If you are currently having trouble with throwing the football, it is because it is how you are throwing the football. Whether you're trying to throw the ball more accurately, trying to get the ball out of your hand faster, trying to throw it with more power, with more distance, all of that goes to how are you throwing the football. My name is Morey Croson, and we're going to be going over the keys to being able to throw the football as effectively as possible. If this is the first time you watch one of my videos, this is what we do. We go in depth into quarterback mechanics and how you can improve your throw and be able to get the ball out of your hands more effectively and more efficiently by just understanding some key basic guidelines to really be able to understand how to maximize your mechanics and the overall efficiency within the throw. This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab. Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become. We'll go ahead and hop right into it here. There's a couple key things that I want to go over in terms of the load, in terms of the release, and in terms of the weight shift to make it so you can get the right timing and the sequence that's necessary to be able to improve really all parts of your throw. And I don't want to make it so it's too complex. I want to make this as simple as possible, but I do also want you to understand that it is going to take focus, it's going to take practice, and it's going to take you the ability to replicate this multiple times to be able to actually make the throw improve. And so the first thing I'm going to talk about is going to be the load. There's a common thing within the hand, and there's a few different problems that end up happening here. One of them is we get into this type of action with the wrist, with the nose of football going out to the side. And I've even seen people go up here, where really this action is mostly going to be, should be elbow focused, right? And being able to get the elbow back and try to limit the wrist action the best that you can. Another common thing that I see is going out with the football with that initial movement. There's a lot of people that will say to have it on that back chest plate, but I like to just have it right in the middle. And from here, we want to be able to go straight back. If I start throwing the ball deeper, I'm going to end up wanting to go a little bit more down. But from here, we want to be able to, best that we can, just go straight back and be able to go through the throw from there. And again, really minimize the amount of extra action that we have as we're going back. The next big thing that ends up being important is going to be within the lower body. I'm going to break this up into the timing and the sequencing. So the first thing that should be happening is we are taking this load and simultaneously we're really taking a step at the same time. And with that step, I want to get this foot down quickly and I want to get this heel off the ground quickly. So I'm here, right? And I don't want to have this heel on the ground when this front foot hits the ground. And in order to do that, I really am going to be pushing down with this back big toe. And what that does is that allows me to be able to get my hips to be able to rotate instead of getting my hips to shift forward. So a common thing that I see is people will go and step and immediately get into this position. And there's all types of problems that happen once we get here with all of our weight forward and the ball back. And the reason that ends up just being terrible is because now you end up having to throw with all arms. So, and what I found is a common reason for that is because people are taught to be able to try to use their lower body more. So they're really trying to push off of their lower body and trying to get a lot of their momentum to go this way. But the thing is, it's all about the timing, it's all about the sequence. So if you're way in front with the lower body, then you're going to end up having to use all arm as you continue through the throw. So what we want to do here is we want to be loading and rotating, but really keeping this weight back. And the way to keep the weight back is to push within that back foot. Now, if I was going to order it with the timing of the 5 main things that are going to happen, what I would say is going to be, and we'll go over the first 3 right now, is first thing that should happen is we're going to step and get that front foot down. The second thing that's going to happen is going to be opening up with that front hip. Okay, so I get this step down and I'm opening up within that front hip and I keep this front shoulder closed. So the third thing would be then this front shoulder opens, but right now it's foot down, then hip rotates, and I'm keeping this front shoulder closed the best I can, so then I can create that hip and shoulder separation to then create that stretch within my core. So that's a key thing to understand when it comes to improving your throwing performance and really going into your throwing power or your distance, is being able to step and rotate and keep this front shoulder closed the best you can. And I typically tell guys that you want to take a step a little bit to the side here with this front foot. So we don't necessarily want to go straight. We really want to go to the side to really help us in being able to create rotation in the hip and still also be able to stay closed within that front shoulder. We have most of our weight into that back leg and we have that front shoulder closed. And now from here, what we really want to be able to do is be able to open up this front shoulder. And as we're opening up that front shoulder, we're coming straight through with the nose of football and with the elbow with the arm. So what we don't want to end up doing is coming back here and wasting a lot of time going back. We want to go and load and be able to immediately get our elbow to come through as this front shoulder is opening. So So the concept that I tell guys all the time is, so this is number 3, is going to be opening the front shoulder, and then getting that elbow to come through is going to be number 4. Number 5 is going to be that release, okay? And so what I'm telling guys all the time is that wrist flick really starts back here, right? We want to be able to maximize the speed and the action in the arm from all the way back here. But if I'm here, I can't do that, or else it's going to go off to the side, right? And that's what we see a lot of people with those sidearm actions, or they get their hands in more of a U position, where if I can get that ball closer to my body and be able to keep this front shoulder closed, by the time I'm opening here, I can get that nose of the football to come right through and really drive that elbow through with a lot of speed and a lot of force behind the football, which is what we want to be able to do to be able to have the consistency and the accuracy needed during the throw. And then with the lower body, what I'm doing is I'm just continuing to add that rotation into the throw as the ball is coming out of my hand. So I want to make that, again, as simple as possible. A big concept that I want to be able to finish off here with is when the ball ends up releasing, we want to be in a more extended position within the elbow, so then we're pulling the arm down as we're releasing the football. So the release is a pull of the arm, not a push. So if our elbow's bent, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up wanting to push the football. When you think about pushing exercises or pressing exercises, you're starting from a press position, right? You're doing a push-up, you're going to be bending the elbows and pushing up. You're doing a bench press, we're pressing up from here. Incline press, shoulder press, whatever, we're in an elbow bent position. Where when we're in a pulling position, we're elbow straight, pull up, a row, right? Anything where we're going and pulling ourselves, we're starting from an elbow straight position, and that's what we want to do. We want to be able to get our elbow not necessarily 100% extended, right? Everybody's going to be a little bit different, but we do want to be able to maximize getting good amount of extension here as we're releasing. So then we're getting a pulling action. I'm going to go through some throws here. These are obviously going to be shorter throws. I don't have a ton of space here, but this is going to be more of a focus on like a underneath 20 to 30 yards and under, and what the mechanics should look like. Once you get above that, now you're going to end up having to change the mechanics a little bit. So we'll just focus on this right now, and you can see what I'm doing within my elbow. You can see what I'm doing within the timing. I'll slow it down a couple different times so you can see all the main parts within the throw. What I focus on with quarterbacks, and I think this ends up being a very, very underutilized part of being a quarterback coach, is the mechanics and the specifics and the kinesiology and the biomechanics and the effectiveness of the utilization of your body. Everybody has to throw the ball differently. There's not one way to throw the football. You're not supposed to throw the ball like Patrick Mahomes or like Dan Marino or like Josh Allen or Tom Brady. You want to be able to optimize how you are going to throw the football and make it so you can get a great understanding of what makes it so you are able to throw the ball more efficiently, more effectively, get the ball out of your hands faster, use more of your body, make it so you can throw the ball further, and really understand the differences between throwing the ball underneath in comparison to throwing the ball further and throwing the ball to the left in comparison to the right. There's so many different nuances in playing quarterback and also being able to effectively distribute your weight and throw the ball further, that if you don't get into the specifics, then there's no way to fully understand and fully grasp how you can improve overall. So that's really what we put a focus on, is making it so you as a quarterback and understand the differences between the different types of throws, so then you could practice and work on it to then make it so it's a habit and something you don't have to concentrate on when you're actually playing in the game. Everybody always wants to say that, oh yeah, you shouldn't be thinking so much when you are playing the game and throwing the football, and 100% I agree with that, but at the same time, when you're younger, you have to develop correct mechanics, so then when you're older, you don't have to focus on the mechanics. So when you're in the game, you don't have to focus on the mechanics, but there are time periods where you do have to concentrate on how it is that you're throwing the ball, and we want to be able to give you the most effective tools to make it actually make those. So thanks for watching. Everything is in the link down below in order to get yourself signed up and learn a little bit more about the quarterback program. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I'll talk to you soon.